Hello, this is Sheriff John Nowels. It has come to my attention this morning that comments I have made regarding Senate Bill 5974 in recent days, as well as comments and a statement I made as the president of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, has been making the rounds, so to speak, through social media, and some of my comments have been misinterpreted, and I would like to clarify my stance on these separate issues. First and foremost, as you have seen from our social media pages of the Spokane County Sheriff's Office and my personal social media accounts, I am personally, as the sheriff, opposed to 5974 becoming law. My belief for opposing this legislation is based solely on the fact that this legislation will erode voters' rights throughout the state, irrespective of political affiliation or political ideology. It is my firm belief, as is shared by other sheriffs and other police chiefs and law enforcement leaders across the state, to include Sheriff Swank of Pierce County, that our voters' voices are paramount and foundational to this constitutional republic. And the effects of Senate Bill 5974 will remove a voter's voice in who is vetted and elected to office and who is removed from office, and it will accomplish this without a vote of our citizens. I am sure everyone here is aware that we depend on voters' voice and local control of our elected officials, including and specifically for those who hold office in the executive branch of government. My opinion is that not only does this legislation remove voters' voice, but also is an overstep from the legislative bodies into the powers and authorities of the executive branch. Yesterday at about 10:30 a.m., the Senate Law and Justice Committee held a hearing where I and other sheriffs from across the state of Washington provided testimony in opposition to this legislation. Prior to my testimony, Sheriff Swank from Pierce County addressed the members of the committee. In his remarks, Sheriff Swank made very clear his opposition to this bill, as is his right, and I personally agree with his viewpoint on opposing that bill. However, in my opinion, as an elected official and as a citizen and as the president of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, believe his comments in the later half of his testimony crossed a professional boundary, and he should not have made inflammatory comments that he did. We see too much inflammatory comments from elected officials, not only in this state, but nationwide. I believe that as elected officials, we need to rise above the fray, keep our interactions with other elected officials, as well as those in separate but equal legislative branches, professional, and work through the legal mechanisms we have to defeat legislation that we believe is not good. I believe Sheriff Swank's comments crossed a line. As the president of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, I have a responsibility to ensure that members do not make any comments or conduct themselves in a way that will diminish that body's ability to influence legislators and even receive audience with them. Sheriff Swank's comments very visibly and immediately tarnished our ability to have influence with the state legislators that he made veiled threats toward, in my opinion. The statement made by me and Executive Director Strahan of WASPC just clearly stated that because of his behavior, not his viewpoint on the bill, that we would be presenting this information to the WASPC board for a vote for him to be expelled from WASPC. This does not remove him as an elected sheriff and solely just makes the statement that he is not a member and does not necessarily express the viewpoints of this organization. The people of Spokane County need to know WASPC is one of the most influential lobbyist bodies in the Washington State Legislature that advocate for good public policy, making our communities safe. Our members need to conduct themselves in a way that supports that mission and that initiative, and make sure that as a group of chiefs and sheriffs across the state of Washington, that our voice is effectively heard and the needs of our citizens are met. I do not want people to misinterpret my statement as the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs as the opinion of the entire board or of any member inside of WASPC. The board will receive this information and they will make a vote, which will occur at a later date. I want to reemphasize, it is time for elected officials and leaders in our communities to raise the bar of the public debate in this country and in this community. I have said it to several sheriffs over the last several hours. That type of leadership is not transactional, meaning we should not only raise the bar when the other side who opposes our views raises the bar. Leadership and doing the right thing is just the right thing to do.
Some of my colleagues naively believe that they can come here and reason with you. They don't understand what's at stake here. They don't understand you like I do. You're going to pass this qualification bill for law enforcement, but you won't hold yourselves accountable. Therefore, I propose everyone who runs for an elected office go through a background check, a social media review, a polygraph, a psychological test. But Democrats, you won't agree to that because you have convicted felons who are elected officials here. I represent almost 1 million people, more than all of you combined here. Many more people. I wasn't elected chief of police. Being sheriff of Pierce County is much more than police work. Citizens reach out to me all the time regarding overreach of the government by you. Some say they finally have a voice because of me, and you want to silence it because I said transgender women are men. I said the truth. You want to give unelected bureaucracy the ability to decertify me and remove me from office because you don't agree with my speech. Just for the record, my deputies don't wear masks, but once you pass this law that they can't, I will not only allow them, but I will encourage them to do so just to see what you do. I don't recognize your authority to impose these controls over me, and when you try to remove me from office, thousands of Pierce County residents will surround the county city building in downtown Tacoma and will not allow that to happen. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I and they are prepared. Are you prepared? Finally, anyone who votes for this will never have an audience with this sheriff.
Thank you. Could I have you identify yourself for the record? I'm sorry, that is not what we do at public hearings, and you will be asked to be removed if that continues. And I'm sorry, Sheriff, for the record, we do need you to identify yourself by name.
Keith Swank.
I'm sorry, can I have you come do that at the mic so we can capture that information?
My name is Keith Swank, Pierce County Sheriff.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair and members of the committee, thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify. I'm Sheriff John Nowels. I am the elected sheriff of Spokane County and also the current president of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. Senate Bill 5974, as it is being presented right now, it will do very little to hold anybody more accountable than we already are as peace officers in the state of Washington. I myself, as a sheriff, have been a certified peace officer in the state of Washington for 28 years. I attend all of the trainings and meet all of the requirements that are met by all of the men and women who serve under me. This legislation, the problematic part of this legislation, in my opinion, is an offense to me as a citizen and a voter in the state of Washington. This bill essentially and functionally removes the voice of the voters in the state of Washington in who leads their law enforcement organizations, represents the community's ideals, values, and ethics at a local level, and allows an unelected body appointed by the governor, and by the way, made up by a minority of law enforcement professionals, to remove an elected official from office without a vote of the public. I will also state that we would be the only elected officials in the state of Washington where this will be allowed. I fear that the Senate and the House, as they consider these bills, are willingly stepping into dangerous constitutional waters, and we could further erode public trust in all of government if this is passed. Thank you.